Growth is one of the most powerful processes in this life. It gradually and eventually progresses, most times in a way it cannot be detected. And this is the reason why it thrives, because it has a silent way of operation. You least expect it to show, you least expect it to be there, but it is right there, relentless, and it keeps growing. And this is why God has hidden greatness and growth, because what men can easily understand, they attack. What they can easily understand, they don't acknowledge, they don't place value on it. So God has to place greatness in growth, so that it can take a silent process to grow and become what God wants it to be, and so that when it shows forth, men can appreciate it. And that is why sometimes what you're going through may not be a loop, it may not be a cycle, it may not be an iteration of process. It may be that God is taking you through a process of growth. That is the reason why there is silence in your life. That is why you don't have too many friends, because they cannot actually perceive what God is doing. It seems like you're having a right stand with God, but you see that things are not working, well from the bigger perspective. But then you know that you're doing things rightly, and you have confirmations from God, and things are going on, and you are happy, but you're not seeing the big results that you expect. That is growth at work. What is more important is not seeing the result. What is more important is having the process of growth. It is not about having results, it is about becoming what God wants you to be. The best result that God wants you to show to Him is the result of you becoming who He wants you to be. And that is the best result. It is not you having things like material things, like things you see other persons having, things that can make you to stand out and say that yes, you are up to date. It is about you becoming what God wants you to be. And what God wants you to be sometimes may be very different from what the society expects. It may be very different from what your family expects. And if God makes you to become it in a way where everyone understands what God is doing, they can fight against you and influence you to distort your own process. So what happens is that God hides your growth process and your formation process from the people connected to you, and hides it from you as well. You don't understand where it's going on. You know you're doing things right. You know you're working with the Lord. You know the Lord is up to something, but you cannot fathom it out. That is growth at work. And what you just need to do is to work with the flow of God, is to keep growing. Don't stop growing. Just keep growing. You may not understand why things are happening that way. You may not understand where you're headed. You may not understand what God is up to, but just keep growing.